We're here with Jacqueline Saretsky, with coordinator for the Saskatoon Catholic Diocese, hospital chaplaincy.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So what is that? What is your role?
A hospital chaplain? Well, I'm trained specifically to coordinate the chaplains, coordinate volunteers in the Saskatoon Diocese, and I primarily work at Royal University Hospital and City Hospital. I work on the floors, assisting the volunteers and our priest chaplain, Father Riel Boussière, with visiting the patients, prioritizing, according to the greatest need at both of the hospitals.
So are you there every day, or?
Pretty much every morning.
Okay.
I start at RUH because it's the hospital, the biggest hospital, and it's the one that presents with the greatest need. City Hospital, I go there a few times, and then I also have an office at the Pastoral Center at Holy Family Cathedral.
Mm-hmm. So why is your role so important?
I feel it's important because we each of us denominational chaplains, and if I may speak on behalf of other denominations and other multi-faith leaders, that we do have our own people, our own patients that belong to our faith group who are in the hospital, and there are times when they need that assistance and support from their own faith group. So that's where we come in as hospital chaplains. We meet and visit our own Roman Catholic patients. United Church visit their own United Church chaplains, and we kind of collaborate together, all of us different denominations, to meet the needs of specifically the patients who are of our own faith group.
Mm-hmm. So how many chaplains are in the hospitals?
There's many, more than I can count. There are the primary chaplains, which are, Roman Catholic, Lutheran, Anglican, United Church. We work out of a denominational chaplain's office, and then there's many other multi-faith leaders, other clergy, other denominations, volunteers who all come there. There's actually quite a few of us.
Mm-hmm. So when a patient comes in, do they request, or how does that work? Or you just show up, or?
When a patient is admitted, they are typically asked by the admitting clerk if they would like to state a religious preference, if they did have a religious preference that can go on their chart. That then gets placed on a religious preference list. And that's the list that us clergy gather every morning and we have access to. This way, we know when a patient is admitted, who they are, and if they want to visit from us. It helps us to be able to meet their needs by knowing that they're there at the hospital. If they don't declare or have that opportunity to state that they are part of a faith group, yes, I'm Roman Catholic, I want to be put on the Roman Catholic list, we won't know that they're there. And that appears to be happening on some occasions, that they are ending up on a list that no religion stated list, which is causing a bit of a problem right now, that the spiritual care staff are no longer there, that they're cut. They were our middle person that helped us coordinate, helped us find patients that didn't end up on our list, because not everyone knows to state this upon admission. If they want to visit from their particular faith group, that they have that opportunity. Not everyone knows that it's there and that we're available.
And maybe they're too sick at that time to even put it on the form or something.
And that happens often. And that was one of the roles where spiritual care assisted us, in that when a patient did come in, whatever condition they're in, oftentimes I hear back from them, I had no idea that we had to state if a religious preference if we wanted to visit. Under the conditions we came in, it was the last thing we were thinking, and I totally understand that. And that was the beauty of having spiritual care there as that support, as that umbrella, and that they were able to search out some of these patients after a crisis happened and say, yes, we can get you in touch with the Roman Catholic chaplain, yes, we can get you in touch with, the United Church chaplain or the Anglican chaplain or, a multi-faith chaplain. They were sort of that go-between that would find out these patients for us that didn't know to state or didn't know it was there.
So Simon had mentioned previously about the cuts. How has that affected your position?
Well, we're still there. And I think one of the misconceptions that began with the cuts is that society believed that we were all gone, that all the chaplains were cut. And one of the questions that I was asked often was, you know, Jackie, do you still have a job? Did you lose your job? And I said, no, like I'm not employed by the health region. Denominational chaplains are employed by their church or faith group, not by the health region. We were the outside people coming in to visit our people under the umbrella of spiritual care. It's affected us now because we've lost that middle person. And the nurses now, when they do get a request from a patient, I want to see a Roman Catholic priest, they don't have that contact. They're where they used to call spiritual care and say, you know, patient in bed so-and-so would like a Roman Catholic priest. Could you get one for us? That's missing now, that middle person. Now the nurse or the healthcare support worker has to call a chaplain directly, and if they don't know who to call, they can't contact. So in the end, it's the patient who loses out.
And it's so important to have spiritual care. Why do you think it's so important to have spiritual care?
Well, I think it's the feedback that I've been getting from patients in the hospital is, I'm so glad you're here. It is good for you to be here because they have that outlet to talk. I really feel honored when I'm invited to sit next to a bedside and listen to a patient's story, their crisis, heart-wrenching tragedies, their cancer journey, whatever they're going through, to be able to offer them that outlet to speak about their concerns, their fears, end-of-life issues. I feel that that's a very important role as a hospital chaplain, to be able to be there for that. There's a lot of busyness going on in the hospitals, and my first career was in nursing, and I know as a nurse I would have loved to have had that opportunity to be able to sit and take that time with a patient, but there's so many demands on nurses and other healthcare staff that they don't have that time. We do. We have that time to sit there, and I love being able to say, no, I'm not in a rush, I have time, and I just sit and be with a patient.
And it's such an important role, and obviously providing healing in a different way.
Yeah. Healing comes through listening. It's amazing how it happens. It's not really anything profound that I as a chaplain say to the patient. It's the presence, and it's that sacredness in that moment, that transcendence that creates healing. It's amazing, but yet it occurs through the patient telling their story, having that outlet, pouring it out. How it happens, I don't know, but it's a beautiful moment when it does happen.
Thank you very much for being on our show and talking about spiritual care.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back.